everybody, my name is Kara Brown. I'm an urban fantasy author and a writer for Otherworld Inc. And I'm here today to basically talk about how July went and my goals for what I'm going to do for August. At this point, I have recorded this video 4 times. The first time I recorded it, I had a lot of rambling, and when I was looking at it, I was like, this is horrible, I have to redo it. And then after that, every time I've tried to record it, I've either had issues with the sound or something else. So if it looks like I'm very unexcited to be sitting here talking about my goals, it's not that I'm unexcited. It's mostly that I'm just tired of having to do this over and over again. Anyway, let's go ahead and let's talk about July. I don't know about you guys, July went by in the blink of an eye between college, work, Camp Nano, and things that were going on in my personal life. Like it just flew by. Like I blinked and it was over. So I did get a lot done. I did get a couple of things that were not done, so I'm going to go ahead and talk about the things that I just didn't get done at all. So the 2 things that I did not get done for July is that I was not able to upload content to Redbubble, and I've just decided that at this point in my career I just need to cross that off of the goals list, because while I do like to do doodles and make them available for people to buy in some shape or form, I've gotten to the point where that's just not going to be a reliable source of income for me, and it's not something that I've been actively promoting, so I'm just going to let it go. I'm still going to use it when it comes to like printing out goodies for giveaways and things like that, but when it comes to like trying to promote it to other people, that's just not something I'm going to do. The other thing that I did not do very well was that I did not actually take my manuscript for Queens and convert it into a comic format, and the reason I didn't do that isn't because I just didn't have time. It was more like I didn't have it finalized soon enough in the month to actually like tackle that. So I'm not going to do that, or I didn't do that just because of that factor. It doesn't really hold anything back in the long run. I wanted to get a head start on it, so it's not really a big deal in terms of things that I didn't get done. What I did get done though, and I'm going to be looking down a lot because I'm looking down at my planner where I'm starting to track all my goals. I used to have this in a digital format, but I just hated starting my day looking at a computer or a phone, so I put it in this little paper format thing. I did get my subscribers for my newsletter up. If you did subscribe, thank you. I really do appreciate it. I got that up. I did get my weight down to 155 pounds. That was a personal goal. I'm trying to work on my fitness this quarter, and I'm definitely making the progress that I wanted to. Start going to the gym, cutting back on processed sugar. It's going really well. I did outline part of book 3. I started outlining Act 1, and then once I got to Act 1, I took a break because I'm going to be working on Act 2 later. I finished the novella that takes place between book 1 and 2. I did finish that draft. That's done. I've put it on a shelf. I'm not going to look at it for a while, and then when I'm ready in September, I'll probably like eyeball it. The other thing I got done, I was able to update my series Bible a little bit, not like to the great detail that I wanted to. Like I fleshed out a couple of character sheets and I updated some of the synopsises for the future books that are coming out. So I got that done, but I need to obviously still keep working on that because again, that's not a resource that's just for me. It's going to be for a team, so the sooner I can get my act together on that, the better. So that's July. I did get a lot of stuff done for work as well, and it was really productive, but I want to go ahead and talk about what's going to happen in August because I do have a lot going on, but I have a lot not going on. It's kind of like, so August I have a lot of things going on and I have a lot of things not going on. The big thing I have going on right now is I have college. I'm taking 2 classes right now, 2 master level classes, and I've gotten a system down. I know how to make it work. It's just there's a lot that I do need to keep doing. Like for example, this weekend I have 2 assignments that are due that are going to take me probably about 10 hours each to complete, so I'm going to be hammering those out. But, you know, college is going to be a big thing that I'm going to be focusing a lot of my time on. The other thing I'm going to be focusing on is also going to be self-care. For those of you who are not aware, I've been really hitting things hard since last November, and the last couple of months I've been sputtering a little bit, and this week I've gotten a lot of physical and mental signs that I've been basically saying I'm about to kind of like hit that wall, and so I need to pay attention to like my mental health a little bit and just kind of take things easy. And one of the things I was doing when I was planning out August is like, where can I cut back on the workload? Because obviously I can't for college and I can't for work, which meant that I had to go and look at my writing stuff. Like how much writing stuff did I really need to get done? And I had some pretty lofty goals for writing things. Like I wanted to convert 5 chapters of the book into the comic. I wanted to finish drafting another book. Like, I had a lot that I wanted to do, so I took a look at those projects and I was like, what actually needs to get done right now and what doesn't? And the answer was a lot of things that need to get done right now. So I have pushed a lot of those things either that need to be looked at either in September or in October. And what I'm actually going to be focusing on writing wise is I'm going to be focusing on the romance novel that right now it's under the working title of The Persephone. So I'm going to be working on that a lot more. And then at one point later on in the month, I'm going to look at the outline for book 3 and take a look at Act 2 and Book 3 and see what I can outline. I already outlined Act 1. I liked it a lot. There were some hiccups in world building that I needed to figure out for Act 2. I did that last month. So at some point, I'm going to go look at Act 2 and I'm going to finish fleshing that out. So I got that going on. Let's see what else. The rest of this is pretty typical, like increased newsletter by 5, social media engagement. I'm definitely going to be using Buffer a little bit more this week or this month to just kind of help me with the content planning because yeah, just trying to do that every day can be really time consuming, and I'm focusing a lot more on engagement this month. I was doing it last month, but I really am hitting like the engagement a little bit harder, especially on Instagram, because I post something, I do want to have conversations with people. So not saying a lot of my time gets sucked into engagement, but I mean, engagement I think is a lot more important than just producing like content like 3 times a day. I mean, that's a personal preference. Everybody's got a different opinion on that. But yeah, so I got that. Something else that I actually want to do is I want to get another tattoo. My husband and I had an agreement that I could get my next tattoo after my book came out. Book comes out on August 9th. That's a shameless plug that right there. And so I've been thinking a little bit more about like the tattoo that I want to get. I know it's totally a vain goal, guys. I know, but part of the reason is because of my sleeve right here, and like it gets right up here where you guys can kind of see the line, and then it ends. And what I would like to do is I would actually like to go ahead and like connect these 2 shoulders, and I need to figure out how I want to do that, and I need to figure out what the tattoo is going to be. I kind of want it to be I want it to be something with a quill, because this is supposed to signify like my book, at least in my opinion. And I think it's appropriate to put it on the shoulders because not to say that writing a book is a burden to bear, but it's definitely like something that bears down on you. So I think that's the appropriate place to do it. I'm thinking about like a quill with like some kind of flowy ink thing. I don't know. I'll let y'all know how that goes. All right, so this brings me to the part where I want to talk about the direction that the channel is going to go. How is it going to change? How is it not going to change? First off, I'm still going to post videos every Friday. That's still going to be a thing. I'm still going to have the live streams on Wednesday at 11 a.m. Arizona time. So if you would like to join in on the live writing sprints, that's the time that I do that. Originally, like, I wasn't interested in doing it, but the more often I did live writing sprints and then I started to host them, the more I started to like really like actually hosting them and just giving back in that small way to people. So that's going to be something that remains the same. You're still going to see me. Obviously, I'm not going anywhere. But what's really going to change is going to be kind of like the content itself. So normally what happens is in the past, I've posted a video where I've either talked about how to write characters, how to write villains, how to be productive, outlining. I've done like basically a lot of how-to videos, and I've kept the how-to videos centered on things that I feel like I'm qualified to talk about, right? At this point, the video is going to switch from kind of like the educational tutorial stuff into kind of like the life of Carol Brown. See more of me talking about like my writing process, how I edit, a lot of how I do things. You're also gonna, I want to do like book reviews too, like not a regular like booktuber thing, but like once a month, I want to review a book. And the big reason I want to do that is because I actually want to read more. And if I know that I have to post a book review once a month, that's going to be kind of like the incentive to help me read more. I've been focusing a lot on like college texts, and I want to do more reading for pleasure. And I think that if I give myself that, there's a cat in my yard. You have a death wish. Squirrel. So anyway, yeah, I'm going to be focusing a little bit more, making this more vloggy and less like educational. And for those of you who do like the educational how-to kind of things, what's really happening is Otherworld Inc. is actually starting up their YouTube account, and a lot of that material that I had scheduled is going to be switched over to that platform that they're having. And I'm going to be working with a team of people, so it's not just going to be me, it's going to be me and a couple other people at the publisher where we talk about things, which I think is really beneficial, because a lot of times when you come to these channels and we're talking about how to publish and how to write and how to do characters and stuff like that, you're really getting one person's perception on how that works. And I think having like a group of people talk and have like that interaction with each other about how to do things is going to be way more beneficial. And not only that, but obviously there's going to be a lot of research, our personal experience put into that. And I think that's also important because I'm not gonna lie to y'all, I've seen some videos that come out in the last year where people are talking about things, and my first thought is like, that is not how that works. That is wrong. Like, where did you get your resource at? So yeah, to sum that up, this particular channel is gonna be turning more into the life of Carol Brown, and all the educational, informational stuff is gonna be switched over to Otherworld Inc. When we start officially doing that, I'm gonna let y'all know. I'll let y'all know on Twitter, here on this channel, Instagram, Facebook. You'll know. It's not gonna be a surprise. But yeah, so that's pretty much the direction that my channel is gonna take. Alright, so that brings me to the last topic that I wanted to cover, which is the Subscribestar account. I do have Subscribestar as a goal for August, and the subscribe goal is basically to have a subscriber, like just one. That's my goal. I set it up because everybody, and for those of you who don't know, Subscribestar kind of works like Patreon, where it's like a crowdfunding thing. You do like your monthly contribution. Yeah, you do your monthly contribution, and you get access to certain things depending on what tier you are, behind the scenes, deleted, yada yada yada. It works a lot like Patreon. It's just a different platform, and I picked it for various reasons I'm not going to dive into in this particular video. But the big reason that I started Subscribestar isn't because I'm asking for people to support me. I'm asking people to support a lot of the projects that I have coming on in the future. I'm basically looking to create things to give back to people that aren't related to my publisher. Like, I'm not asking for cover art or formatting. That's stuff that they take care of. I'm talking about like the tarot card project. If you don't follow me on Instagram, and there's a link below if you want to check it out. For the last year, I've been kind of like just toying with like the tarot card project that I have, which involves taking characters and scenes from my novels and putting them into, obviously a tarot card. And for the longest time, it was just going to be something that I was going to do. But lately, I think I drafted 12 cards, and when I got to card 10, I remember looking at it and going like, I really wish I had somebody else that was just way better at this to actually help me with the art, because while I love to doodle and I can doodle really well, I am not really an artist. I have a lot of references that I use. I'm very visually based, and I really wanted to work with somebody that, in my opinion, was way more qualified to kind of bring these images to life. Now, the good news is that I found that person. If you've seen the banner for my Twitter, my YouTube, my Facebook account, the person who did that, their name is Hax. They are a Korean artist. They did the art. I absolutely love it. And I reached out to them and said, hey, are you interested in working on this project with me? And they said yes. Now, obviously, this isn't a project that's going to happen right away. We're talking about 78 cards. And we're also talking about a language barrier as well. Hax is, as I said, Korean. He does not speak English. I do not speak Korean. We are using Google Translate to talk to each other. So this is something that does take some time. So what I want to do is, obviously, first off, I do want to pay Hax a commission for each card that they are able to complete, mostly because Hax still has to buy food, Hax still has to, got bills to pay, so I want to give them, basically money as the process is being done, and this isn't something that's going to be done right away. We're looking at maybe taking 2 or 3 years, depending on how fast that they're able to do the cards. But I do want to pay them for each card, and then I have some other stuff in regards to royalties that I'm discussing with them, but up until that point, I do want to make sure that I am paying Hax for their time and effort, because that is valuable. And then there's the cover artist itself. When I did Queen of Swords and Silence, I was very particular about my book cover. I wanted a certain person to do it. I went and paid out of pocket to commission that person, and no regrets. Best decision I made when it came to my book, to be really honest. Priscilla Kim, who did the cover art, is exceptionally talented. I want to keep bringing her back on. She's very talented, very inspiring, very expensive. And so when I made the Subscribestar, all I'm really saying is just a little tiny help, which is kind of with that financial burden. I'm not asking patrons to actually help me 100% fund things, but I am asking for just a little bit of help for that. And I've kept the tiers really affordable. It starts at $1 and it ends at $10. So I'm not asking for people to dish out oodles of money for this. But that's pretty much why I started the Subscribestar. So again, my goal for Subscribestar is to get 1 subscriber. That's it. One subscriber. Every dollar matters, just like every word matters. And then kind of build up from there. And obviously, if you are a patron, you do get access to certain things like, deleted scenes. You get to see stuff that usually goes in the newsletter before the newsletter comes out, the short stories, the art, the everything. And there's just so much that I would love to do with this, but I have to get supporters before I just dive into all the things. So that's kind of where I stand on that. But yeah, so that's how my July went. That's my plans and ambitions for August. Then I talked about this. Yeah, so I've talked about all the things. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and close out. I am curious about what you guys are going to be working on for August. Like, do you have like one goal, multiple goals? Is there just like an overall idea of something that you want to get done this month? And, you know, do you, like, how are you going to handle that? I'm just curious just because I know that sometimes if you type it and you share the goal with somebody else, it kind of cements it in your brain. So if you're willing to have that commitment, you can leave that comment down below. I definitely would love to encourage you in helping you pursue your goals. But that's Carol Brown out for this Friday. I hope you all have a good weekend, and I will see you all next week.